All right, we're going to go ahead and get started on today's webinar. Today's webinar is about how to build a five-star reputation for your restoration business. My name is Sean McMean, the founder of Vinnie Restoration Marketing. We help restoration contractors generate more jobs through online visibility. And again, today's topic is going to be one that a lot of people don't find that crazy important, apparently. And so I'm appreciative of you joining and actually listening in about building your reputation because it is honestly one of the most critical components of success online and increasing that visibility. And so I'm going to share my screen and walk you through everything related to building a solid reputation for your restoration business. And let me make sure I've got everything going here from a technical standpoint. Okay, we should be good. All right, let me share my screen here with you. Again, today's webinar is about how to build a five-star reputation for your restoration business online. And some of the topics we're going to cover today is why reputation is so important, why a positive reputation will help you grow. Also, how do you compete with your competitors that might have more reviews than you? How reviews are impacting AI search and the process of how AI search is recommending companies. And then we're going to also talk about which platforms you should get reviews on, along with ways to collect reviews for your restoration business, and then set an action plan. And I promise you, I will be upfront and transparent with whatever's working today. There's no shiny objects here. This is exactly the same strategy that we follow for all of our clients today. If I could have your attention just for a few minutes here while we go through this, might take about 30 minutes. It's probably not going to be 60 minutes for this webinar, but you will get plenty of action items out of this. As far as who I am, again, I'm the founder of Vinnie Restoration Marketing, and we help over 70 restoration clients now as of September of 2025 with online marketing. And I've been in the industry for about over 17 years now. And I wrote a book on how to improve your visibility online in the restoration space, and also host a podcast. And recently got back from the Experience Conference in Vegas, where I made a lot of great connections with people in the industry. Like I said, we have tons of clients that we work with. Whether you're an independent or a franchise, our strategies will work for you to increase that visibility online. One of the goals of mine in 2025 that I set in January was to help 100 restoration companies. And so if you're watching this, hopefully you get some value out of this, and it will help you grow your restoration business. So if you stay to the end, I promise you I'm going to get you a copy of our book, some checklists, and previous webinars that discuss all the topics about increasing jobs for your restoration business. I'll get you that link at the end of here. As far as the common issues that we see in the restoration industry, obviously there's tons of competition. Everybody that is in the home services and remodeling side have seen the water damage, what kind of jobs you can get out of that. And a lot of people are gravitating towards that. And so the competition is not going to decrease anytime soon. It's just who those competitors are going to change over time. And honestly, the high cost of getting the phone to ring is very difficult for many people starting out in the industry. You're chasing leads after leads because insurance is not paying you on a timely manner for that work that you've done. And so that is not going to change anytime soon. And the results can be up and down each month. And so what we find is most companies don't have a proven strategy to get results. And so what we'll share with you is that the vast majority of companies that are getting the jobs now, there's about 10% of those getting the most of the jobs. And that's because they have a dialed in strategy in order to increase that visibility, improve that branding and that reputation. Today's webinar is going to be about improving that reputation. So you not just become, chasing leads on a monthly basis, but actually become the best known company in your area. And that's the real goal of this is we don't want to be paying for all the leads. We don't want to just rely on referrals, but you want to be the go-to company in your area. And having a solid reputation will help you do that. We find that there's 3 keys to success in order to get that visibility you need. And that's dialing in the visibility component. So when someone does pick up that phone and they do a search because they have an issue in their home or their business, your company is actually getting recommended, whether it's general Google search or an AI search. And so by having a strong brand and a reputation, just because that reputation component is at the bottom of the funnel here doesn't mean that it doesn't matter as much. It actually matters more importantly and it helps everything else work together. So again, today's webinar is going to be about how to build that reputation. Now, just a quick question here. Think to yourself, is your reputation important? I would anticipate as a business owner, your reputation is extremely important. Your team, your company is extremely important. And, at the end of the day, having a positive reputation, do you really think it's going to help you grow? And if you can answer yes to both of those questions, I promise you're going to get a lot of value out of this webinar here today. Okay. What we find is that it's very difficult to get the reviews from your clients that you do work for. It's easy to ask for them. And I'm sure if you've ever asked for a review, you've asked for somebody to get your review and you did an amazing job and they didn't give you a review. The companies and your competitors that get this right succeed online. That's when marketing works. If you have the reputation to back up what you say about your company and the expertise that you have. So one of the studies that I've done is looking at the top 3 large franchises out there and looking at a ton of profiles. I looked at 300 competitors across the United States, looked at their profiles, and what I found was that just because you're a franchise doesn't mean you're going to have the most reviews, number one. But if you do have the most reviews, these are the numbers that I'm looking at on average, what the review count is per Google Maps location. So you can see competitor 1, I'm not naming names here, but these are true numbers here. Competitor 1 had 99.5 reviews on average. Competitor 2, 41.36, and competitor 3, 42.55. Now, where do you stack up against that? It's not always the average review number or the total number of reviews. It actually has, there's an impact on the review rating as well. So here's those same competitors on the review rating, 4.75, 4.64, and 4.74 across those 3 competitors. What I'd really love for you to do is look at your profile and find out where you stack up against that. Don't be discouraged if you're not on that number, but you've got to strive to get to those competitor numbers in order to have an impact and be recommended by Google. So that's one important insight I want you to take a look at. There's other things here. Why does your reputation matter? It matters a lot. Number one, if you get a referral or someone recommends your company, they're going to go out there and search your company name and they're going to look at your reviews, right? Simple answer there. But it matters even when they don't even know who your company is. When somebody goes out and searches, I've got a water damage issue in my home, who should I call? Google and AI search is going to recommend a company based on their reputation and what they say about their company, right? And so it used to be that, okay, we would, from a marketing standpoint, you'd optimize for a keyword called water restoration company or water damage restoration. That's not how people search nowadays, especially with AI. People will pick up their phone, do voice to text, and say, who do I call for a water damage issue near me? Or some sort of problem solution sort of search. And so it's no longer, the SEO days of keyword stuffing and all of these things is no longer as important as it used to be. And so in order for Google to know which company to recommend, they have to go on what you say about your company and what other people say about your company, right? And so what we want to make sure we're doing is that we're focusing on building that reputation so that it improves the online visibility and not just general search, but AI search. And it's going to give you a positive reference when people do recommend your company. Now, here's what the reality of the situation is in September 2025 is that right now AI search is having a dramatic impact on the results that are showing up on any given search, whether it's on your phone or whether it's on a desktop. Okay. And so what we're finding is that, as I said before, if you go out there and search for water damage restoration near me, there is usually at the top an AI summary. And that AI summary is gathering data from websites, from Google Maps profiles, from external websites, and actually giving a concise list of people that they're going to recommend. And so just having ads or just having a Google Maps profile is no longer enough. You have to have a multi-pronged approach online and getting reviews from multiple sources. And so when you do a search for your company in ChatGPT, is your company getting recommended? There's a good chance if you're not getting recommended, you don't have enough reviews on your Google Maps profile or other profiles online. And so this is a dramatic shift that started pretty much May, June of this year. And it was in the beginning of 2025. It was a prevalent too, but the real shift happened in May of June of 2025. And what we're finding here is this little stat here: 60% of Google searches, they never leave the actual search results because they're getting these AI summaries, right? And so it doesn't mean that your website's not important. Those external sites are not important. It just means how people are interacting and actually calling you is changing. Okay. And what we found is that you need to have a multi-pronged approach with getting reviews. It used to be that Google was the end all be all, and I have to get all my reviews on Google. And that is still true to an extent. But many of the AI search platforms do not just rely on Google, and some of them totally ignore Google when they're recommending companies. And so you need to be able to get reviews on multiple platforms. There's a recent study here on this sheet that shows you that a single platform is going to increase your visibility to an extent, but having multiple platforms where you're getting positive reviews on it's common sense. It's going to give you a better brand profile and a better reputation all across the internet. And so what we recommend is that you focus in on the primary platforms, which is usually Google, Better Business Bureau, and Yelp. Those are the three most important. And then the other ones are kind of second and third or whatnot. Home Advisor, Angie's List, Thumbtack. Obviously, having industry certifications is important. You can't get reviews on that, but you can actually implement those in your content strategy and social media strategies. And then having a local chamber of commerce profile with the ability to collect reviews on there, having a Nextdoor profile, and other regional business associations that you can have profiles on are extremely important. You might say, well, why would I want to have Yelp? And honestly, it's used mainly for restaurants, right? But it's a very trusted source for the AI platforms and for text to voice searches. And so if you're using Google Maps or Android or whatever, or Apple Maps, it is actually a very trusted source for those results that come back through voice to text. And a lot of people are doing voice to text nowadays. So those are the platforms that we recommend. And when you do that, what you're looking at here is a GeoGrid where the visibility increases for, these are example of clients of ours, and each one of these dots are a dot on the map on where this company is actually being recommended. These are three different companies in three different territories, and these companies are getting recommended over their competitors because they have a comprehensive strategy and following some of the practices that I'm going to share with you here. The other reason why reputation is important is because Google LSA or Google Guaranteed actually has a big impact on it. And so there's two spaces for Google Guaranteed, or it's called Google Guaranteed and Google Local Service Ads, or LSA. And so you can see here, obviously the reputation side of things is extremely important. This platform allows you to do pay per call. And there's some pros and cons for it. It's usually a better ROI than using Google pay-per-click. And I've got other webinars that talk about LSA and pay-per-click strategies that I'll share with you at the end, so you can have resources on those. But your reputation has a big impact on the results you're going to get out of this. So what we talked about so far is why reputation is important, why you need to have a positive reputation, how AI search is getting impacted by reputation, and what platforms you need to do. So now how do I go out and get this 5-star reputation? What you obviously have to do is answer your phone. I can't tell you how many times we talk to restoration companies. Yes, I answer the phone all the time, and that truly doesn't happen. Like you let it go to voicemail or whatever. You've got to have somebody dedicated answering the phone. We have ways to for some of our clients, after hour services where AI will actually answer that and ask them if it's a true emergency, would you like to talk to somebody now? Press 1. And so those are ways that you can get around to having somebody totally on call for non-emergencies. but you got to answer the phone, and you got to make sure that you do what you say you're doing and over communicate with clients. And that's something we do with our clients internally, but it's something that is common sense on a business perspective, right? You want to be involved in your community. You want to volunteer in your community. You want to build a network of people that know, like, and trust you. And then you want to have your trucks wrapped. One of the biggest opportunities I see on community involvement that people miss is the community parades. My local community has a Halloween parade and a Thanksgiving parade, and it costs $100 to entry into that parade. And I looked last year, I didn't see one roofing company, I didn't see one water damage restoration company, I didn't see one plumbing company. And there's thousands of people watching these cars and handing out candy and doing all of these things. Being a part of those things within your community is a lost opportunity for a lot of companies. And I get it, there's some work to get around it, but investing $100 in a tank of gas is 100% worth it, because eyeballs are going to be on your truck, on your brand, and you can hand out magnets or whatever you want to do during that event. It's a highly recommended. As far as asking for reviews, it is the responsibility of every single team member within your company, not just the owner. But if you can get your whole team bought into this strategy, you can have a big impact. Now, you might say, well, what about the office people? Well, if they're cutting a check, they should be handing that check to somebody sometime, right? And they should be asking for a review as well, because that person actually done business with you, right? So everybody and anybody within your team, as part of the responsibility of working at the company, should be responsible for getting reviews. And you can do that via text or email. And you can also use review postcards. So you can have these little NFC cards that you can tap. They're called tap cards. Or you can have a postcard or a business card with a QR code on it. And don't be afraid of negative reviews. They're going to happen in this industry. You never know what could happen as far as insurance billing and all those sides of things. Even if you did the best effort, don't be afraid of a 3-star or 4-star review. Any review is actually a positive review signal on Google's side. Obviously, you don't want a 1-star, but sometimes those happen, and you can if they're 1-star, you can actually dispute those sometimes and get them removed. But being afraid of negative reviews is not a reason to not get reviews. The other thing is, when you're going out to ask for a review, we highly recommend you do it on site, in person, before you go to sending a text or email. You want to make sure that you're collecting that review. As soon as you leave that house, the chances of you getting that review drop by about 50%. Another effective thing that you should be doing is, if you go out and do an estimate, whether you actually do work for them or not, you actually help them, providing them some value. It's a very effective strategy. If you had an interaction with anybody, is to ask for a review. And so I would highly recommend your team do that. And if you don't get that review on site right then and there for whatever reason, the next best thing is text and email. And so here's some example scripts that you can use to ask for those reviews. Obviously, reference them by name and tell them who you are, and let them know that you strive to provide a 5-star experience. And so you're sinking in that in their mind that you're wanting a 5-star review, right? Subconsciously. And then the best way to ask for a review is to ask for help from them. So I want help connecting with other homeowners just like you, right? And so people like to help people. And so that's usually the message that we utilize for requesting reviews. If you don't have these, or you don't have a tap card, you can get review postcards like this that they can scan and pull it up on their phone, and it's a very effective strategy. So I'm going to give you actual link where you can actually download a template and have these printed in Canva. I think it costs like $20 for 50 of them, and so you can do that for your company. And I would have your whole crew hand them out. You can have it branded towards your colors and whatnot. So we're going to give you a template for that. The other thing that people often miss is promoting those reviews. So just getting one review or Yelp or Facebook or Nextdoor, those other platforms is great, but you want to promote those across social media, and turn those into videos as well. So you can ask for video testimonials, put them on YouTube and whatnot. Those are effective strategies of promoting your reviews. So as far as social media posts, these are some examples that you can utilize. You can just literally grab the text and put it into a Canva image and with your logo and spread it across all of the different platforms. On your website, make sure you have some sort of widget on there that shows your reviews. And there's usually something that's associated called schema that's really important to include that review schema in your technical side of your website. If that's too technical for you, just go out there and search or ChatGPT's what is review schema and how do I put it on my website, and that will help you do that. As I said before, videos, add those videos, testimonials to your YouTube channel and to your social media platforms. You don't get a lot of leads or phone calls from social media. But what this does is it strengthens your brand profile, and it's another avenue that AI search is consuming data. AI search will actually read and listen to videos. It'll get the transcript from the videos and actually use that in an analysis. AI is so fast that it's constantly trying to consume data to understand more about any particular business or any particular topic. So don't be afraid to use video in that. So as we kind of recap some of the things that you can work on to build your reputation for your company, just to recap here, are you involved in your community? Are you actually asking for those reviews, and are you engaged in different aspects of collecting reviews or building those networks of people that can recommend your company? Don't be afraid to ask for reviews. Get NFC cards. I'm going to give you the ability to download a QR postcard, and then if you're not utilizing text for that secondary way of requesting reviews, I gave you that example of what you should be doing there for that. If you're not posting across social media, it's a big missed opportunity. And then you want to make sure these reviews are embedded on your website and trying to get some video testimonials from clients. It doesn't have to be a professionally done video. How many times, if you've ever gone on Facebook and you've seen a professional commercial and you just kept scrolling? The ones that actually get the engagement are the ones that where you pick up the phone and you actually are talking to that person, and you're actually doing a non-professional video on your phone, and you're just asking that homeowner, how was it working with our team? What was the problem you had? How did we help you? Would you recommend us to someone else? And taking that video as an unprofessional video and just posting that actually has a very big impact, and you'll get much more views and engagement with that. So I ask you at this time to go ahead and take out a piece of paper and write down one or two things that potentially you're going to do for your reputation for your company. Are you going to get more involvement in the community? Do you have the reviews on your website? Are you using text message? Do you have QR codes for your postcards? Those are simple things that you can execute on, and make sure that when you write these things down, you're actually putting a name to the person that's going to help you execute on that. Try not to have your name next to everything, but whether it's a company you work with or whether it's somebody on your team, put a name next to it. And so right now, if you want to, you can take a screenshot of this, or you can put your phone up to it and you can download, you can fill out a form, and we're going to send you a copy of, if you can put your company name in there and everything, we're going to send you a template that's going to be branded for your company, and you can print these off in Canva for $20, and you'll get a professionally designed postcard. So if you want that for your company, go ahead and print that off there. If you're watching the replay, this still applies. You can visit this QR code and you'll get your free copy there as well. I always like to use this quote: take action, never put off until tomorrow what you can do today, by Thomas Jefferson. I truly believe it, because it actually has impacted my business as well. And that's why I do these webinars, is to give back and to help companies like yours. These are a sample of some of the companies that we have helped build their 5-star reputation online. And so if you want to review kind of what that would look like for you, you can certainly schedule a session with us where we dig deep into your reputation online, find areas that you're missing, and give you some recommendations. And if it makes sense, we might ask you if you want to partner with us to do that for you. So if you want to visit restorationmarketing.com/calendar, or you can call us at 314-582-5210 to schedule that session. What we do is we provide a comprehensive marketing program to help you raise that visibility, not only on Google, but all AI search platforms and other platforms like Bing, YouTube, social media, and all those areas. And so we have a full team that is dedicated to increasing that visibility, improving that brand presence, and helping you build that 5-star reputation. So if you'd like to learn how we can help you, or if we can help you, you can go to restorationmarketing.com/calendar, or you can give us a call at that number listed there. As far as the resources that I mentioned, the free book, the checklist, and the webinar recordings, you can find those by going to restorationmarketing.com/2025. All of the recordings and this recording will be located there. You can download a free copy of the book and the checklist to help you improve that visibility, your brand presence, and your reputation online by going to that resource. That is it for today's webinar. It was a short and sweet one, but a very, very important one that that I commonly see businesses slack on, and that is building their reputation online. So if you have any questions in the chat, you can go ahead and put them in there, specifically about your business or how AI is impacting your reputation online. Go ahead and feel free to put them in the chat there, and I will happily answer those. I'm going to hang out for a couple more minutes here and give you any answers to any questions you might have if you're on here. If not, that is going to be it for today's webinar. Should we put videos on our website too? Absolutely. Videos on your website. What you're doing by putting videos on your website is you're actually utilizing Google's own platform, YouTube. And Google loves websites that actually embed their assets in there, right? So you can have videos on your YouTube channel, and you can actually create a page that segments those videos by testimonial videos, project videos, case study videos, those sorts of things. And that will help the page stay indexed and stay relevant, because that content is constantly changing on that page. And you can do the same thing with your Google Maps profile as well. You can embed that into the footer of your website to make sure you link your website to that Maps profile. So anytime you can utilize any external resource embedded into your site, further strengthens that relationship. Hopefully that answers your question there. Awesome. Yeah, no problem. Okay, so we're right at 30 minutes here, as I promised. If you do have any need for help building your 5-star reputation, again, you can reach us at restorationmarketing.com, or you can give us a call at 314-582-5210. Thank you so much for your time today. And if you're watching this replay, you can also schedule a session with me on the page that you're watching this on. Thank you so much.